This is Karia again, and I have here at long last my Polychromos Faber Castell video review. So first let me open up the tin and show you what you get. This is a tin of 60, so when it arrives with a booklet that tells you different aspects of the company. There's some techniques in here. There's actually a mini color chart here that you can actually color in to match the colors if you want to, but this is your mini color chart that is in here. And in the back, oh, hold on, let me show you. Up here, let's see, like I might have to turn this around. At the very top of the tin, this gives you a history of the company and all these various sorts of information. In the back of the tin, you get the colors that are included, and I want you to take note of all these yellows. These are all the colors that are included in this very tin. So if you want to, say you're thinking about getting the set of 60, you can look up the colors that come in this tin and then buy individually some colors that don't come in the tin, and that way you can try it out. That's what I ended up doing. That's how I tried it out. All right, so here's the tin, and one of the things I love about this is that you can lift this up with one hand, put this up here. Let me see if I can show you. And then you have all your pencils right here. And it's really, I found to be extremely useful for just having everything in one place. And then I can have my coloring book here. And it's super easy to work like in this way. So one of the things that I did, one of the first things that I did is I actually ended up taking out some of the yellows. Hold on. The yellows that you see here, so these are colors that were included in the tin originally, and I took out these yellows and I put in this color. I put in, there's some other random browns. I think this one I put in, so I added in some browns and some greens just because we do a lot of nature, you know, flowers and stuff and plants. So I felt the need to augment what is included with some more greens, and then I keep the rest of these in a mason jar nearby. So that's what I ended up doing for me. If you like, you know, a lot of yellows, you can end up doing that because you can get the colors individually. So now that we've passed through what comes in your tin, there's some other things I want to talk to you about. Namely, we should talk about how they actually color. So this is from a review I did last night of the Spectrum Noir. And this is from a review I did in the past, just comparing the different pencils. So one of the things that you'll see right away across all of these is that the Faber Castell Polychromos, Faber Castell sells a number of different lines. There's one that comes in a red box, a blue box. So not all Faber Castells are going to be the Polychromos, but this review is about the Polychromos. Anyway, what you'll see is that your blackest are the best blacks. You know, they're your darkest blacks. Maybe the soft core might be similarly dark. Your purples, the blendability is absolutely spectacular across. With this was used with a blending pencil, and overall I found that for me, I really like the depth of color and the intensity that I got from the Faber Castell without having to press as hard. So for the Prismacolor and for the Koh-i-Noors, in order to get these dark colors, you have to press super hard. With the Faber Castell Polychromos, you don't have to press as hard to get the absolute darkest color that you want. You can even, I could probably have gotten a darker black than this. The other thing that you'll see this stripe across here is the erasability. So usually colored pencils are not erasable, and in fact these are not truly completely erasable, but being able to erase at least a little bit will help you with certain techniques where you lay the color down and you erase it, or with, you know, making corrections and cleaning up your edges. So that's another thing that I really liked about the Faber Castell Polychromos. The other thing is, if you compare the same color palettes and the same colors, you'll see that the Polychromos, which are here, which is this one, gives you the richer, darker color, and it stays richer over time, whereas the Prismacolor may begin to fade. I laid these out in the sun, so they may begin to fade with the Prismacolors and the Spectrum Noir, whereas with the Polychromos, you're going to have that color fastness that's part of what you pay for. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. I did erase a little bit of this to sort of see if it could be erased, so that's part of why this looks a little bit lighter. So that's in terms of the color depth and in terms of the usability. I love using these with blender pencils. This was done, I think, with the Prismacolor blender pencils. There are a number of different brands. You can also blend with white. I don't blend with white because I feel like it lightens the color in a way that I don't necessarily want to lighten the color, but the blender pencil does not necessarily lighten the color. So that's what I use for this half. I used a blender pencil, and for this half I use no blender pencil. And you can see all the white that's here, but when I use the blender pencil, it really moves that color around. So I found that to be really, really awesome and really amazing. So alright, so now that we've gotten through that, I want to talk to you about some other things that I really like about the Polychromos. The other thing I really like, I don't know if you can see, but most of the colors still look almost all the way to the top. This isn't that I haven't been using them. I've been using these almost exclusively for at least the 3 weeks that I've had them. This had to be sharpened recently, so you can see. But the other thing that I like about these is that, unlike the Prismacolors, which I feel like you have to sharpen with the Prismacolors every time you lay down a line, you end up having to sharpen. With these, they do seem to hold that point for a while and don't need to be sharpened as often. I don't know if you can see that, but this maintains a sharp point for quite a while. This is a color that I use fairly often. I like this color a lot. But you can see how much, even though I use it a lot, you can see how much it still has a fairly nice point. So that's one of the things I really like about this, is that even though the pencils are fairly expensive, this set ran me $100 for 60 colors. And to get the full 120 colors, you're going to be spending in the range of $200 in most places, although the retail price is more like $350. I still think that with these you do get a better value, because with my Prismacolors, you know, some of the colors are down to here because you have to sharpen literally every time you use them. The other thing that I really like about these is that the color is all the way across the entire pencil. Some brands, the Caran d'Ache, the color is only at the very bottom. The Spectrum Noir, the color is only at the very bottom. With this, you have the color all the way through, so it makes it really easy to just at a glance pick your color. The other thing I like about these, even though it's not super perfect, the color that you get generally does a good job of matching what's painted on here. So that makes it, again, really easy to just pick your color at a glance. And the other thing is that your light colors, even your light colors, are still going to give you a nice rich color. Like, they're not going to look like almost white. Like, you can see that this is really going to give you the color that's on here. And you don't have to press super hard. Like with some of them, when you get to these light colors, you have to press super hard. I'm not even pressing particularly hard, and I'm getting pretty much the color that's on here. So I also really like that about these Faber Castells. The quality control is amazing. Each pencil is absolutely perfect, as is to be expected at this price range. There's no problems with any pencils being off center or anything like that. Pretty much I have been, as I said, extremely happy with these. Some people might think that they're overkill for coloring books. I think that they're perfect and that they're not necessarily overkill. Let me show you, see if I can find it. Let me show you, I did this. So I did this, my coloring is still, you know, I'm still practicing, but I did this with the Faber Castell. So this is all done with the Faber Castell, and I really just have been really loving the way that it gives you, you know, a lot of rich color. These are actually both fairly dark colors that I just put in really lightly. So you can actually get lighter tints that way too, by just very lightly tapping, so you don't necessarily get the darkest color unless that's what you want. So I've been enjoying that about these. So that's pretty much it. They come in sets of, let me give you the exact, because I have the book here that tells you, you know, what they come in. Let me tell you the exact sets that they come in. They come individually. You can buy the pencils individually, but they also come in sets of 12, 24, 36, 60, 72, which I haven't seen any place that actually carries a 72 set, but there is a 72 set, and then 120. I got the set of 60. I think for adult coloring books you can do the 36 easy and get plenty of colors and just augment the ones that you want extras. The 120 might be overkill, but you know, if you're in the budget to spend $200, then it's perfect. So for most coloring books, I would say get the 36 or the 60. If you can find the 72, the 72 might include some of those colors that I've been missing. So that's something else to keep in mind. And last but certainly not least is this. It's such a minor issue that I was like, should I even mention this? But I figure let's all have fun with this. This color is called medium flesh. I'm gonna say that that's not exactly accurate for everybody. I did contact them, and they do mean flesh as in skin, not flesh as in meat. So there's that. It is what it is. It's literally not the end of the world, but I do find it funny. This is something that American companies don't really do. Like Crayola doesn't do that. Other companies in the US doesn't do that, but this company is based out of Europe. So I guess that's something that you know, that's something that they do. I don't know. But that's, again, very minor, not a big deal. But as for the pencils themselves, they're beautiful. They really do last a long time because you're not going to be sharpening every 5 minutes as you are with the Prismacolors. They give you a rich color. There's not like a lot of residue. They're erasable. They're great for coloring books because they don't, you don't have to press super hard, so you're not damaging the page behind it. So that's always good. So overall, there's really nothing but good things to say about this set. If this is within your budget, then, and this is something that you were thinking about, do you want this? I say if you have the means to get the set of 60, I say get the set of 60, take out some of the yellows, add some greens, add some blues, and you'll have your perfect adult coloring book set. Oh, the other thing, last thing, almost forgot to mention, I traveled with this, as you see here, with no bubble wrap, no nothing, just the way that it is. I took these all the way from New York City to Yosemite National Park, just in the same tin they come in, and they did a great job of traveling. As you can see, nothing broke, nothing was damaged, everything survived the plane, because to get to Yosemite National Park we had to take the plane, an airplane, to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco we took a bus. From the bus we took a train first, and then we took a bus, and then that's how we got to our hotel. And then we did that back and forth, and it survived all of that without any damage, without any problems. In the same tin it comes with. This is a very nice high quality travel tin, so you can take these with you as they are. It is a little bit like longer on the side, but I kind of like that because that means that you don't have 3 sets to work with. You don't have like 3 packs of these to work with. You just have 2. This is really nice for you being able to pick this up and move them around. So that's it. Great pencil, highly recommended. Literally, you can't go wrong with these pencils. They're color fast, they have bonding, and the pencil, as I mentioned early on, they have bonding all the way from top to bottom, so you're less likely to get breakages in the middle as you are with Prismacolors, which are famous for having breakages along the middle. So overall, no complaints. Totally highly recommended. If you don't have a set of Prismas, or you don't have a set of another brand and you're looking for a set to do your adult coloring book with, this set of 60 is perfect. All right, enjoy and have a great day. I hope you liked my review.